Hello, here's the problem number 3, and in this problem we have to clone linked list with the random pointer. So in this linked list each node has also the random pointer within the next. So for example, we have a given example with the linked list where each node pointing to another, and also we have a random pointer which points in another order to the other nodes of the linked list. So to solve this problem, to clone this, first of all, we will need to create a new node, like the clone of the header, where we will just copy data from our actual node, like this. So I will declare current node pointing to the header at the beginning, and also I will declare a new node. I will call it just node, and after that I will just first of all I will deal just with the next pointers. So after creating this node, I will pointing the next pointer of this node to the next node of the actual linked list. Then I will just remove the next pointer of my current and will change it to the cloned node. After that, I will just move my current to the next node of my linked list, and again I will create another clone of that node and change the pointers in that manner. So the first of all I will just pointing to the same node as the original node, then I will just changing the pointer of original one to the cloned one, and so on. So I will do it with the each node. And for the last cloned node, I will just change next pointer to the null. After that, so here the pointers of the random pointers of the each node of the given linked list. So we see that the original node of A pointer random is pointing to the node with the data C. Then that node's random pointer is pointing to the next D. So basically, for my cloned nodes, I will say that to point my random pointers to the next element of the current random pointer. So for example, if current is pointing, for example, to the, first of all I will just again define my current to the first node of the given linked list, and I will also again define my node to the first node of the cloned list. So after that, my random pointer will be pointing to the next element of the original node where my current is pointing. So for example, my current node random pointer is pointing to the C, so I will just point to the next element after C. So in that case it's cloned C. Then the same thing with the D, so I will just clone to the next element of the D, and so on. After that, I will just remove my pointers. So I will again define my current node to the beginning of original linked list and my node to the to the cloned linked list, and after that I will just change the pointers of the next to the cloned ones. So I will just remove these temporary pointers and will put them back to the original nodes. So I will just remove all these temporary pointers to the between original and cloned linked list. So in the code it will look like, so let me just write it down. So I will return node, I will call it clone, the input will be header of the linked list. So I will define two nodes. One will be called current, which will be equal to the first node, and another will be, I will call it just node, and the initial value will be null, but then I will just insert data from my current nodes each time, and so by that I will be just cloning it. So I will run while loop, and here in my node that I declared here, I will just initialize a new node with the data from my current node. After that, I will just point next pointer of my node, newly created node, to the node of my current node. So basically my node will be pointing at the same node as my current one. After that I will just move my current pointer to the next node of original linked list, and to do this I will just use next because next is already the node itself. So before that I also need to change the pointer of current next, like current next pointing to node itself, and after that I will move my current to the next node of original linked list. So basically here I'm just creating a new cloned nodes. Then I will again define my current to the beginning of linked list, making it equal to the header. Then my node will be equal to the current next, pointing to the first node of the cloned linked list. So after that I will run my while loop again, and here I will handle the random pointers. So my pointer of cloned node will be pointing to the actual current random's next node. So as we know, next node of each current is actually the cloned node. So by defining my random pointing to the next element, I actually will be pointing it to the next cloned node. After that I will just move my current to the next node of the original linked list by using next, because the next is actually the cloned node. The same thing will be applied for the cloned node with next. So here we'll just handle the pointers of the random pointer. After that, I will again define my current equal to header, and my node will be pointing to the next element after current. Also, I will initialize a new node which will be my header, and it will be equal to the node itself, because in the next while loop I will be just removing the pointers between the original linked list and the cloned linked list. So the pointers of the next will be just pointing to the original nodes will be pointing to it according to the previous order, and the newly created linked list cloned nodes will point to each other. So here I will run while loop again through all elements in the linked list. So here my current next will be pointing to the node next, meaning that I will be pointing to the so for example I have original node of and I have cloned. So right now pointers are in such order, and by showing this pointer next, I'm just removing this pointer to the cloned one, and I'm showing and pointing to the original node. So then I will do the same thing for the cloned node, and I will say that it just needs to skip original one, like node next. So next is the cloned one, so I'm just removing this pointer and showing to the cloned one, like I'm removing this one and showing to this one. And after that I'm just moving my pointers, like moving my nodes to the next node. So current was here, now I'm moving it to the next node, and the same thing will be done with the node, so it will be moved to the next one. So basically in this while loop I'm just removing the pointers between original one and cloned and putting them in the proper order, and after that I will just return a new header.